I just finished installing the KR Sabers Kestis Survivor and Shoto. Let's check them out. These are probably my favorite Cal Kestis hilts that I have ever worked on, and that's saying something because I've worked on the 89 Sabers V2, V3, the Saber Bay version of this from Jimmy Saber Junk. This is kind of like the sequel to it because it's also designed by Jimmy Saber Junk but made at KR Sabers, and this comes with a bunch of cool features like the quick disconnect feature. I'm going to show that off to you. You can just connect the Shoto to the hilt, and there you go. It's really, really nice and super, super fun. And then, of course, you can also get the side blade. I forgot what that was called, but like the Quillian expansion pack. And then you can also get the Jedi Survivor, not Jedi Survivor, Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order expansion pack for the bottom here. It pretty much comes with everything. It feels phenomenal, it sounds great, everything about it. The construction, fantastic. Just have a few annoying things about this, but you know, it's necessary because it's so small and how he pulled off the buttons and stuff. But other than like the small things I'll tell you about in a little bit, I love these hilts, and I definitely will be getting some for myself in the future. But before I go on and show you guys how these work and talk about the install itself, please be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. And if you're interested in a lightsaber commission, feel free to message me on Instagram or my website, averycastillo.com. But now with that out of the way, let's head to the workbench. Alright, now that we're at the workbench, I can show off the hilts a little more and talk about the install and show you how it all works. But first I want to talk about the overhead light that I have. I got it a couple days ago. Let me know what you guys think. I still haven't figured out how to use it in videos, how to make it not super reflective or whatever, but we're going to do some experimenting here. So hopefully you guys like it, and at the very least we'll be able to see a little more. Alright, so let's start with the hilts. These hilts are beautifully constructed. They are brushed finished, all the metals are super solid. The sound venting for these are really hidden and really, really nice. The sound venting for the main hilt comes out the back, as well as the handles here, or the little window holes. And that feels phenomenal when it's on. You can feel the vibrations of the airwaves, I guess, from the sound coming out, and it just feels really cool. I haven't felt that in any lightsaber before, and I think it's awesome. So that's really cool. These are steel, so you can heat treat them, get some staining. It's just a really, really nice hilt to do a bunch of customizations and make it work really nice. The Shoto is also super nice, except it's really annoying to install, specifically because of the buttons. They have super, super tiny springs under the buttons, and they just are easy to lose and easy to just spring everywhere. I actually lost them for like a couple hours, and I had to search all over my desk and the floor. Luckily I found them all, but yeah, not fun. But other than that, it works great. So let's go over the really unique mechanism that they have. It's super simple. It has to do with the main hilt, this back end. You can kind of see it. Wow, you can see a lot more now with these overhead lights. This is great. But you can see this sort of device going on with these ball bearings or whatever it is. You pull this back, and that's what unlocks the back end, and you can put on the, I guess, the pommel section. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. The pommel section. You can adjust it, you can place it however you want, and then it also rotates when you do this, which is pretty cool. I guess it can adjust how it hangs on your belt or something, but in any case, whenever you want to connect it to the Shoto, you have to have this back end on the Shoto, not the one with the ring. Pull it back, put it on, and boom, it's locked in. It does still spin. I don't think there's any way to prevent that, but it's a really cool mechanism, super simple, super easy, and it's not going anywhere. Now, let's show off the install. How you access the chassis is you open up these handles. It's pretty much the same on both, but I'll talk about one at a time.
Cyan.
Whoops.
Blue.
It's really easy to accidentally hit the button on these when you place it down, so I'm going to try and not trigger that by putting it on some bubble wrap. Okay, so the main hilt. How you access the chassis is you unscrew the handle, and here you have the chassis, also designed by Jimmy Saber Junk, printed in a really nice PLA, I guess, with a nice printer. This is the battery. It's already in because I was showing you in the intro. And it has a twist and click mechanism. So the chassis connects with another plastic chassis that holds the button. And then that one is separate from the NeoPixel connector chassis, which makes contact with each other. You'll see in my build video, I kind of did a different thing with the build video this time. I decided not to do a voiceover, but rather record my voice while I was building. Anyways, this is a twist and click mechanism. So basically you just turn it counterclockwise until you hear that click. It can take a tiny bit of force, but do it. Try not to overdo it, but also don't underdo it. And here's the chassis. It's Profi V3.9. It's held in with little shelves, I guess, which holds it in place. So you can push it in, pull it out, whatever you need. This is the SD card. You can grab that with tweezers. And this is the USB-C port. You plug that into the computer in order to upload your config file. Rotary chassis PCB. Kill switch. This is off position. And that's pretty much it. It's 28mm bass speaker. And that's all I have to tell you about this chassis, really. Now, to take out the battery, you can either use your finger, or what I do is I take the back end of tweezers, go to the positive end, and just push down and pull up, and there you go. Now with this, I tried to hide the wires as best I can. I have them running around this side. I use a little bit of E6000 on the exposed wires there to try and hold it in place in case you take out the soundboard and then that shifts the wires. This won't shift the wires into the window. I just like the look of not having wires there. But yeah, that's all I can really say about this build, so let's just get right into it. So you put the negative on the spring, positive towards the soundboard. Hit the kill switch.
I'm Cal.
I have the volume pretty low right now so I don't bother anyone. But it can go really, really loud, especially in this hilt, because the amount of space between the speaker and the pommel allows the resonance to be massive. It just amplifies the volume by a lot. And it also travels to the upper end, as I told you earlier. So all you need to know is you put it in pretty much however you want, and then you'll feel it slide in. So you can kind of see how it goes in there. And then once it's gone further in, you push them both together, do a clockwise and twist until you hear the click, and that's just your two plastic chassis clicking together. So let me show you the twist and click sort of mechanism going on here. It's just an angled print, and then it connects in here. Hopefully it lasts a long time. I'm not too big of a fan of this method of securing your chassis in there, just because I feel like plastic is going to wear on plastic pretty quickly. Maybe not quickly, but it'll wear out over time. That's just my thought, but I haven't had one of these and tested in the long run, so who knows? It could be great, but in any case, it does work great, which is nice, and it's really cool and innovative design. So that's how it works. Once it makes contact with the button chassis, you can then press it. So this hilt is a single button, and the Shoto is a 2-button. That's the blade plug. You can use your Allen key to open it up here and then place the blade in, etc. And then both of these hilts are set up with the same config file, minus the fact that this one's a single button and the Shoto's a 2-button. So it has the Jedi Survivor fonts on them all the way to the Party Saber font, which I spent some time on. I'll show you how that one works in a second. I'll just cycle through the fonts real quick and you can kind of take a listen. But for now, we'll put this on. You can kind of hear how that amplified the volume. This one's blue. And then hold it for slightly longer than you would to turn it on and you cycle through. But I'm sure you know how all this works. I'll just show you for anyone who doesn't know how this works. Hold it for about 3 seconds in order to turn it off.
Green.
If you want to adjust the volume, you can hold down the power button and then clash.
Enter volume menu.
And you can kind of hear the volume menu voice. I have that being Hu Yang, and I kind of set that up with all of my Profi hilts because I just really like Hu Yang's voice. And then you can just adjust the volume here.
Volume menu end.
I think I put it back to where it was. There's so many more controls you can do with this, but that's pretty much all I'm going to show you here.
Indigo.
Indigo.
Magenta. Orange.
Orange is a really cool sound.
Purple.
Purple.
Yellow. White. Red.
And then that is it for all the colors. Then we have the Party Saber, and I'll show you how that works because I set it up in a particular way.
Party Saber.
So first, when you turn on the hilt, Party Saber is essentially when you swing it, it changes color. But not only does it change color, it will also change fonts along with the color. So whatever font is associated with that color, like I had just shown you earlier, it will switch to it. So that's green, probably magenta, indigo, orange, purple, white, yellow, and then back to blue. It'll swap the sound font depending on what color it is. Now that, just in standard form, I guess, when you first turn it on, it will cycle through the same colors each time, so the same sequence. If you want to unlock the randomizer, you have to trigger the special ability, the first special ability I have set up here. I think it's the only one I have set up on this sound, or on this blade style. But you hold down the power and then turn it. There you go. You don't need to twist it like with the twist on and twist off feature. That's what I had to learn while messing with it, because you keep accidentally turning off the saber when you're trying to activate the party mode. So that is the randomizer. So now it'll change to a random color whenever you swing. There we go, you get a decent look at it this way. So yeah, that's pretty much just how you do it. And if you want to go back to normal, you just do the same thing again, and then you have back to the same sequence. And randomizer. Yeah, anyways, that's party mode. I think I've talked enough about that. Now let's move on to the Shoto. Yeah, and I've actually shown you, before that, I've shown you how to do the pommel, I believe, but I'll just do it one more time. There you go. That's how it looks. And now on to the Shoto. Now, this is the Shoto. It's pretty much exactly the same as the other hilt. As I told you, the SD card config is all set up exactly the same, except this has two buttons. Now, you'll see that the buttons have different textures. This is a horizontal texture. This one is more of a square. The horizontal is your power. Square is your auxiliary. You can always change that in the config. There we go. And it works just like a 2-button saber.
Cyan.
Has all the same fonts and colors.
Jet. Green. Enter volume menu.
I will turn this down though, because it's a bit loud for me right now.
Volume menu end.
Much better. And that was the force. If you hold down the power for a little bit longer than just the on and off, you'll get the force effect, I guess. So yeah, there's not much to talk about this one since I've gone over everything on the other one, so I just wanted to show you what it looks like. And this has two pommels, and you just simply unscrew them. This is the one for the quick connect and disconnect. And then this one is your standard. And I did clock it, the grip, so that it's even and aligned. But I really like the look of this, actually, so I do like to leave it on, plus it's a lot more fun to connect it to the main hilt. So let's open this up and I'll show you how this one works. It's very similar, but it has a smaller battery. Yeah, the kill switch is actually accessible directly, unlike this one, or the main hilt. Still twist and click, but it's a tiny twist and click with barely any resistance. This is all that causes the twist and click to work, is that small thing versus the massive one on the main hilt. So keep that in mind. When you put it into the hilt, you align the buttons with each other. Do not press the buttons in because you'll rip the buttons apart. So just have them decompressed, just don't touch them. Align the chassis buttons with the hilt buttons, slide it in, and then just boom.
We ran into some trouble on our last job.
Just a quick twist, and basically no force at all compared to the other one. So, boom, easy peasy, works on both sides. And then you're all set. And as I said before, well actually, you know what? What I said doesn't matter too much because it about the buttons, which one is the activation, which one's the auxiliary, because that depends on the orientation of the chassis in here. So you'll have to keep that in mind. Because now, this one's the auxiliary.
Cyan, blue. Party Saber, blue.
Yeah. So whichever way you clock the chassis on the inside is what the buttons will do. And of course you can change it. Now, there's not much to say about it other than that. But I did notice that the battery is a little bit trickier to take out. For whatever reason, it just doesn't like to come out very easily. So you'll have to mess with that and figure out your method of removing it.
I'll take the Inquisitor. Watch my back.
I found that the best way to do it is to use back end of tweezers to shove the spring a little bit further down. And then boom, it can come right out. And that's how it goes. So yeah. Hopefully you understand how all that works and you guys got a good look at it. This is full of white stuff. Not sure why. It could be from some of the glue that I had used and it's just exhausting itself somehow. I don't know what it's doing, but I'll clean that up before I send it off. I'll use some isopropyl alcohol or something to rub it down, just to clean it up, because you see it's disappearing as I rub it. But yeah, this can be a bit tricky to take out. So that's my trick, is just push the spring down and then pull it out. And you can just, there we go, put it back in. I like putting these back in with the black showing because I don't like the sticker. In any case, that's pretty much all you need to know about these hilts. If there's something I missed, I'm either going to have it down in the comments, or not the comments, in the description of this video. Or you can always message me if you don't see it down there. But in the description of the video, I will be going over all the things that I think are important, some of the customization websites that you should go to. Let me zoom out a little bit. And pretty much everything you need to know about it is going to be in the description. But if I miss something, which inevitably I will miss something, feel free to contact me and I will answer all of your questions. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed checking this out. Yeah, I think just for fun, I'll show you the quick disconnect and connect feature because I just can't get enough of it because it's just so much fun. So let me show you. Boom. Easy. Super fast, super quick. And then disconnected. All right, now that I've had my fun, that is all to these lightsabers. And with that, we come to the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed checking out the results of my install of the KR Saber Survivor and Shoto expansion kit. And if you're interested in commissioning a lightsaber build from me, feel free to contact me on Instagram or through my website, averycastillo.com. And to the customer who commissioned these from me, thank you for trusting me with your lightsabers. This was a pleasure to make, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoy them. So thank you all again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.